Looking for a job can feel completely overwhelming and frustrating, especially since you don't know what's going on the other side of the hiring table. That is, until today. After working in HR and recruiting for over 17 years, I now help job seekers just like you take their job search from stressful to successful. And today I'm going to cover the top 4 questions that I get from my clients about the recruiting process. And yes, we're going to touch upon that landmine of a question that you've probably gotten in your phone screens, which is, what are your salary expectations? And I'll share how you can navigate this. Now, the first question I get is, how long do recruiters actually look at my resume? So you might have heard that the average amount of time spent looking at a resume is 6 to 10 seconds. There was actually an eye tracking study done in 2018, which pinpointed the exact number, which was 7.4 seconds. Well, yes, there is some validity to this. I like to look at it from a different lens, and that is the skim, scan, read approach. Now, when I was in recruiting, I would recruit for a variety of positions, including very senior level ones. So I remember this one position, it was for a CFO, a chief financial officer, and I got a resume for a deli clerk in my stack of resumes. Now, I did not spend 6 to 10 seconds looking at that resume. I knew within a second that this wasn't a match. So off it went. But then the next level is scan. And that's where I would look for keywords. I would look for relevant experience. And that would take, well, a little bit longer. Now, once I scanned it and I was like, yeah, this person seems like they would be a fit, off they went to the review later pile. Now that review later pile, I would then go through more diligently and actually read through that resume. So while you hear 6 to 10 seconds, it does depend. Some resumes, if it's a clear no, it's just going to be a couple seconds. For those resumes that are a match, well, you're going to spend more time on those. Now, question number 2 is, how do I answer the question about pay? This comes up a lot in phone screens and can actually come up before when you're filling out an application. For now, I want to touch on how you should answer this when you have a phone screen. First, I need to let you know this. Every single position has a salary band, and the recruiter is well aware of that salary band. I've never recruited for a position where I didn't know what the range was. So they have the information that you want, but they're going to try to get you to say what your salary range is before they give you theirs. If you say a number that's way too high, then they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to spend any more time with this person because I don't want to pass along somebody to the hiring manager that has no probability of actually taking this position because they want so much more money. On the flip side, if you say a number that's too low, they're writing that number down. They're like, awesome, we can get this person for lower than we would actually pay if they hadn't told us this. So this is where you got to play it off. Now, you're probably going to be asked something like this. What is your salary expectation? And here's where a lot of people freeze and they either say, I'm open, or they'll actually give a specific number. The way I like to approach this is saying, thank you, this is a great question. I do want to make sure that we are aligned. We're still early on in the hiring process, and I need to know more about the total compensation package and what the role entails before I'm comfortable giving you a number. Could you please share the salary range for this position? And then be quiet. Seriously, be quiet. We feel as though we have to fill the silence, but I want you to give a good 8-second pause here because inevitably the recruiter will come back with something. Now here's where it could go a few different ways. One, they could just be very open and transparent and tell you the salary range, at which point you could say, that sounds great, that aligns with what I'm looking for. Now, if they're gonna double down and be like, well, we can't give you a specific number because we don't know exactly, what your experience is coming in, and we'll understand more of that during the interview. What are you looking for? At that point, have the knowledge that they do have the salary band in front of them and can answer your question, and just say something like this. I understand that you can't give me a specific number, but if you could just give me a ballpark, that would be great. And then that kind of puts it back on them again. And once again, be quiet. And I will say, if they're not giving you any information about the salary, that's a little weird too, because they do have it. The one thing that I don't want you to do is play all your cards up front, because it is actually a true statement. You don't know the total compensation package. What seems like a good salary might not be once you realize that health insurance costs $1,000 a month, or that you'd be giving up a bonus that you currently have at your job. Of course, you should have a range that you have in your head, but that is something that you can share if you're like, yes, actually that aligns with my range of 60 to 80,000, or if you just want to say, yes, that does also align with what I'm looking for. And if you are looking for a guide on how to interview and handle and ask great interview questions, I actually did create a guide along with 20 ChatGPT prompts, which I will link below. Now, question number 3 is, how do recruiters find candidates? This one is interesting because I think that most people think they just post a job on Indeed and then the resumes flow in. And yes, that is one avenue. Recruiters do use job boards, but they're not just using the big ones like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor. There are some niche job boards that they're also posting on, which if you can find positions on there, there's less candidates that you're going to go up against. And I did a video on that, which I will link up here. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. They're also actively sourcing for candidates. And one of the biggest ways that recruiters source is by using LinkedIn Recruiter. So you see one version of LinkedIn, but as a recruiter, you can buy the license to use LinkedIn Recruiter, which gives you access to then source candidates. So this is where you might get those messages from recruiters and you're like, how in the heck did they even find me? Yeah, it's through LinkedIn. And this is why it's so important that if you are looking for a job, or maybe you're not even looking for a job, but you just want to keep your options open, that you can turn on open to work on the back end, not the open to work where the banner comes up on your profile picture, but the one that only recruiters can see, because when they source, that is an option for them to click on to see who is actively looking for work. And on top of it, there is a version of your profile that they see, and they can do a quick skim and scan to see if you would be a potential match, as well as having some filtering. Then another way is outsourcing sourcing. This comes into play with either smaller companies that might not have a dedicated recruiting department and they use staffing agencies, or this also happens when the recruiting department either isn't having success in finding a candidate, or if it's a very hard to fill positions, then they'll go to executive search firms or staffing firms that will do the work for them. And so that's the outsourcing piece. And then the final piece of the puzzle, which is so important for you, is that they are getting referrals and recommendations. Now, these can be referrals and recommendations from current employees, from people in their own personal network, from hiring managers that received a message from you because you knew how to appropriately apply, not just hit apply and wait, but hit apply and then reach out to a hiring manager. And that's another source, and that's where the gold is, because having a connection point of any kind is gonna have you stand out. Now, the final question I get, and it's one that I wish we didn't even have to talk about, and that is, why do recruiters ghost me? What I'm about to say is not an excuse, and I wanna get that out there, because I do not have any tolerance for this, because especially in the age of AI, you can argue whether AI is good or bad, but ultimately it's set up just for this. Like, this is the perfect situation of creating a template and sending it out. But back to why this probably happens is an average recruiter does not just have 1 or 2 openings. They're working with 20 to 40 recs, and a rec is strictly just a job opening. But they have that many open positions on their plate at one time. Now, you compound that by the knowledge that the average position gets about 200, 250 resumes per position. So if you're dealing with 200 plus resumes per position, you're looking at thousands of resumes, and they're getting overwhelmed. And then once they do identify some candidates, they want to make sure that they are hitting all the touch points with those active candidates, and they just kind of forget about the people that applied that they're not interested in. And I absolutely hate seeing this. So like I said, it's not an excuse at all. And to deal with ghosting, one, I would just say, don't take it personal. Know that this is a problem across the board and it's not any reflection on you or your experience or your worth. It's just crappy management on their end. And then two, sometimes we automatically jump to a negative assumption that, oh my gosh, they're ghosting me. But if you just send a reach out, they might be like, oh yeah, I meant to get back to this person. So doing a reach out or two will definitely help in some circumstances. So there you go. 4 questions about recruiting that I know come up a lot. But if you have more questions and you're like, hey, I've always wondered this about the recruiting or hiring process, let me know in the comments below.